I study management. So the academic style of learning over there, so classes are 3 hours long, just be prepared for that. But
it's quite boring.
yeah, try and entertain yourself in other ways. There's a lot of like small assessments and a lot of group presentations and group work, which takes up quite a bit of time in terms of meeting all your groups, and sometimes you'll have like 3 group meetings in one day, which can be quite annoying, but you don't really have too much to do in your spare time. And there's not that much like heavy weight on exams either, which is quite nice.
Yeah, it's like more like small things that add up to it rather than 100% exam at the end, obviously depending on what you pick. And it's more continuous assessment throughout the year rather than an exam at the end. So it's just what you prefer.
Yeah. So that's in terms of
you can pick your timetable, which is quite a good thing to do. Is before you pick your modules, you can see what classes are on what days, and therefore you can arrange your timetable through that. So in my second semester, I put everything on a Monday and Tuesday, and so I had Wednesday, Thursday, Friday with nothing. So, I mean, it just depends whether you want to do that. I mean, I had that 8 hours on a Tuesday, but I knew that was the weekend after that, so it means you can go travelling and etc. So yeah, it's quite flexible with times and stuff.
Yeah, don't worry about choosing modules till you get there, because you get 2 weeks at the beginning.
Yeah, like drop periods.
Yeah, drop, and you can do most of it online. Sometimes you have to go and get signatures, but most of it's online, so just find out what the people are doing, what days suit. Don't worry about choosing your modules now, because they will definitely change. Mine definitely did. I don't think I did many of the ones that I said I wanted to do.
I think I did all of mine, but just because I do economics, so at Leeds, if I wanted to study economics in Hong Kong, they wouldn't have approved it unless it was more advanced than what I'd learned in Leeds. So I had to do something that would be pretty hard. So I chose like basic business modules because Leeds would approve that because it was different from what I'd studied. So it's easier.
Yeah, I did mainly management modules. If you want like a real big challenge, choose kind of finance things, but they're really difficult.
They are really hard. We did one finance module.
Oh, we were so lost, it was ridiculous.
This
is for next year for Asia.
Yeah, come on in.
Cool.
Yeah, we did a finance module, we did it together, and it was a nightmare.
Yeah.
But only if you're really keen, would I suggest doing that. Otherwise, just take advantage of being able to do the cultural modules. So
yeah,
I did,
they're
like
really good.
marketing in China, which is like, although it doesn't feel like you're learning particularly too much because the style of the learning is different. So it's kind of like learn it, repeat it. Actually, a lot of what I learned last year has been useful this year because I've got kind of that cultural look on business, which I didn't really have before.
Yeah, and Lubs would approve it as well. So like business and Hong Kong society. It's quite a good
that was
one.
an interesting module. The person who ran that's really nice, Mary.
Yeah.
But she's a bit more strict.
You can't miss classes. They're really heavily focused on attendance. So if you miss more than 3 classes, you will 100% fail the module. And there's not much leeway. So you basically have to go 2 classes. Unless you...
You can miss 3 a semester.
Yeah.
But don't put it up to the boundary because if you're sick one day, you fail.
Yeah. I mean, there may be some way around it, but they are not recommended.
So if you're doing economics, you can't pick really basic economics.
No, because Lubs won't approve it because you've effectively already done it in
And
your
if
first
you're
year.
doing management, you can't choose the management module, or you can't choose organisational behaviour because you've already done those kind of things. They have to be either different to what you do at Leeds.
Are you thinking of taking Mandarin?
Oh yeah, the beginner's one.
Yeah. It's
I
good.
recommend that.
Yeah, because
at least for the first semester.
Yeah, I only did it for the first semester just because I wasn't very good at it, but pretty much every international student will do it, so it's like a good way to meet people.
And it's really interesting to just get the basics and understanding how the language is put together, because obviously it's not Latin based, so it's just radically different from what we're used to. So it's just have the understanding of kind of what makes it really.
It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Chinese, Mandarin.
I did it for the second semester, and there was quite a big jump between first semester and second. But I still came out with a really good grade. I'm not really sure how. The teachers are really nice. They let you go with it. They just want you to be there and just to try and learn.
Yeah, they really like international students.
Yeah, you can really feel that. Everyone's really welcoming, and most of the students are as well.
Yeah.
I don't think I met anyone who wasn't nice, but everyone's lovely, friendly. If you need help, they'll help you. If you're, say you're in your halls and you're having problems communicating with the person and the
Security at the halls is
their English is
minimal.
to say the most.
You just can't communicate with them
At all. So the handy tip is to grab a student who looks Chinese and ask them if they can translate. Sometimes if you ask a student from mainland, their Cantonese isn't that good. I did that a few times, and they were like, "Oh, I don't know either." So just had to wait for someone from Hong Kong to come through, but like they're more than happy to help translate. It's fine. What else? Hong Kong's a place. It's really nice.
Yeah, I was going to say, what did you do in your free time? Obviously,
travel.
you had quite a lot of it, 5-day weekend.
It's really, Hong Kong's a really good place to get to other parts of Asia. You can find quite a lot of cheap flights to mainland China, Philippines, Indonesia. So I would say just take advantage of the timing if possible to go on weekend trips and stuff, because you'll find everyone that you meet will want to do the same as you, just to like experience more and stuff. So you can go to Singapore for the weekend or Philippines.
There's so many exchange students at City, especially, that it's easy to find it. Some people will just be going on a trip and you just jump on the bandwagon.
Yeah.
It's really easy to do. It's good. It's really fun.
Yeah.
And then in terms of what do you do in the spare time? At the gym, if you want to like work out, the gym's really cheap.
It's so cheap. It's like 150 Hong Kong dollars for like the whole year, which is like £12.
And then you could get a squash court. I think it was really cheap.
$5 for a squash court, which is like 30p.
Like we started playing squash there, and we still
Yeah.
play now because it's so cheap. You just go all the time. You need to book online, but there's never anyone else.
Yeah, there's good.
If you want to play badminton, you have to book like a week in advance because everybody plays badminton and they're really good.
Yeah, it's quite popular.
Yeah.
There's good places to eat at City U, would you say? Yeah, there's like basically City U is connected to this huge shopping mall. It's like 7 stories high and it's insane. So it's pretty much like any shopping mall in the UK. It's got like H&M.
It's massively famous. Like I read about it in one of my American textbooks. Was like this shopping mall in Hong Kong. I was like, I live next to that.
Yeah, so that's really cool because you can anything that you need, you'll be able to
you
find
spend
it
hours
there.
in there.
It's an international supermarket as well, so if you're missing,
if you want to pass on
comforts, you can get there.
Yeah, they have most things, don't they?
Yeah.
It's really cool. And there's also a cinema and an ice rink. And
Yeah.
There's so much to do. That's just next to the halls and the campus. It's all next to each other. And then if you want to go further into Hong Kong, to the other parts, like onto the Hong Kong Island, you can just get the MTR, which is the subway. And
Yeah, it's really
cheap.
really cheap and really good. It's apparently like the most like efficient
Yeah.
underground system in the world or something, or in Asia. Yeah.
It's really like this really big, like compared to the London Underground, it's really big, it's air conditioned, the maps that tell you where you are and which direction you're going, so it's not easy.
Yeah.
It's not hard to get lost.
It'll be very humid when you get there, so be warned that you'll step outside your room and you won't even be doing anything and you'll just be like dripping in sweat. So that takes some time to get used to. Hello.
We're going now. Sorry, Renee, we had a lecture.
Sorry, thanks.
Nightlife's pretty good as well. On Wednesday and Thursday they have this thing called Ladies' Night, so it's like free drinks, free entry for all girls. You should take advantage of girls.
Boys have to pay, sorry.
Yeah.
There's never a men's night.
Yeah, strangely. So yeah,
Is alcohol like expensive otherwise?
Yeah, it kind of depends where you go, but on the whole, yeah, it's pretty expensive.
You can drink on the street, that's legal. So a lot of people go to 7-Elevens and just buy a drink it, and then go
Yeah.
to a bar.
Or like you'll
A lot
buy.
of boys do that because they don't want to pay. Like in the bars, drinks are quite expensive if you want
Yeah.
to pay for them.
Or just have pre-drinks while you're doing it's just buy.
The boys used to pre-drink and then the girls would be like, I'll meet you there.
Yeah, because obviously we buy drinks free. So
There's a supermarket somewhere the boys used to buy the Chinese beer. It was in a really
Yeah.
odd direction, but
yeah, I'm sure you'll find ways around it. But yeah, that's good. There's loads of stuff like, actually to do in Hong Kong. It's such an amazing
we were
place.
just a tourist for months.
Yeah, 'cause
Absolute
there's
months.
different islands aside from where you live, so like you can go to like the beach and stuff and go on hikes and stuff. I don't know.
We had bikes once.
Yeah.
New territories. That was cute. You can really just be a tourist. it's amazing. It's just one big holiday for quite a while too when I was there for a year. So it's good. And there's loads of places to eat as well. So outside of where you live, you can easily go into Hong Kong or into Central, and there's loads of nice restaurants like Korean barbecue is really good.
Yeah, good sushi.
Sushi one, half price after 9 o'clock. We eat a lot of sushi. 10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
10 o'clock.
So you're like waiting until 10, but it's worth it. Trying to think of some.
Sally, is there anything you think that the students should do while they're in Hong Kong, or any good modules or anything?
The whole life is good there. The residence life, there are many activities. For example, the orientation nights at first. Every hall has one orientation night, and also the high table dinner, and what is that? Pancake dinner. It is a Hong Kong culture, and you can try that.
Yeah, there were a lot of activities. Just you need to, if you're an international student, go out your way to try and find out what they are, because sometimes the posters are in Chinese. Like we found that, I was like, I don't know what this is about. But if you ask people, or if people send emails in Chinese, just email them back and be like, can you translate it? But yeah, you're right. There were my hall didn't, but
Yeah,
all four especially didn't.
Yeah,
have a big
all
dinner
four.
things.
Yeah, the halls are quite different depending on what hall you live in, and you'll just get assigned somewhere on the. I don't know. I think you get told what hall you're in before, but all the international students are like spread out across the 13 different halls, so most of your friends probably won't be in your hall, which is a bit annoying because after 12 o'clock you're not allowed in anyone else's hall unless you live there, and they're like massively strict on it, so you have to like swipe in to get into the hall, and obviously once you swiped in they know that you're in there, and then they will come and find you and kick you out.
They think you can hide in the wardrobe,
Like,
they
you
can
can't.
hide in the bathroom, like they will definitely find you wherever you are.
So that gets a bit annoying if you're just like chilling in someone's room watching a film and it's halfway
And some
through
of
the
the
film and you'll just
yeah.
get kicked out.
Some of the security guards really like exchange students and some really hate them.
Yeah,
It's popped up for a few while.
yeah,
I can see why they don't like us, because we're trying to get past the rules, but
yeah. Some are a lot stricter than others.
yeah.
But mine was okay. But I think like hall 1, yeah, she was amazing. My security guard was amazing. And if you're in hall 3, tell Tom, say hi. But it's like hall 1 and 2 are the worst, weren't they? I think they were really strict.
But like each hall has different pros and
Yeah.
cons. So they
Yeah, yeah.
1 and 2 might be most strict, but they've got the best location relative to the lawn. Like there's no perfect hall.
Or all the halls malls in different places.
They're
Yeah,
like
no one
literally
makes
in a
it.
big circle.
Oh,
So you'll still be really near everyone.
So you could just sit outside.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
I
That's what you do.
stay
Yeah.
closer to the lawn, I just mean like not 30 seconds down there.
Yeah.
It's laziness. Everything's so close, you get quite lazy.
Are they essentially like all the same then in terms of what the rooms are
They're
like?
identical.
Yeah, rooms are identical.
Exactly identical. Apart from the views, maybe.
Yeah.
But let's just look as well, depending on which side of the building you're on. You might get a really nice view of all of Hong Kong.
Yeah, you can
Or you
watch
might
the
get, you might
the
get the
red
view
light
that's got the, the grass bank.
Yeah, I think I like that. Yeah.
Can I ask, either of the people going to Hong Kong University of Science and Technology here? You're going there. And Serena, Serena's actually an exchange student here in Leeds, but her home uni is Hong Kong University of Science and Technology. And it's a new exchange for us, so we don't actually have anyone who's been. So I don't know if you've got... yeah, maybe. I don't know if you have anything to add that's maybe different compared to City U, maybe about the academics.
Okay, HKUST is actually a pretty new university in Hong Kong, but it's actually one of the most famous and most competitive Asian universities because its MBA courses is #1 in Asia. So what's so attractive in studying in HKUST for business courses is that the undergrads can share the same resources with the MBA students, like the professors, the modules, the business cases from Harvard, from Ivy. So actually, you find students there love studying. The library is always full, and then you sometimes have to really go there earlier to grab a seat. But then it's a different culture from City U, I think, because it's in the Clearwater Bay, which is just next to the beach. So I think international students there love to go like boat trips, boat parties, or like fishing at the weekend, or just get some bath at the weekend, or just after school. And then there will be very pretty seafood in every accommodation halls. And then there are 2 very big and new accommodation halls just built. So maybe probably you will choose one of them, because like the older halls, they all have their own theme, their own style. So some international students may find it difficult to blend into the locals. But then the new halls, there are 4 new halls. They don't have they don't have like a single theme for you to follow. You can like have different themes in each floor. So actually you can communicate with other, like your roommates or other international students on your floor to design on your theme to follow. And then the rules in the new halls are actually less strict. Like maybe you can go to others' room without being kicked out at midnight. But then in the older halls, you will definitely get kicked out at midnight.
The area around UST, because I went there quite a bit for something else, for like a community thing, and it's a really nice area, isn't it? And people said that I met, I don't know what uni they're from. They weren't from Leeds, but they're from a different uni, but from the UK, and they said that they used to pre-drink on the beach and stuff like that.
Yeah.
How far is it from the centre, like from the rest?
It's actually not very far. Like there is a minibus and a bus for you to take to go to the entire station within 20 minutes. And then the transport network in Hong Kong is actually very advanced. You can go everywhere in the NTR station, in the NTR, that's the subway. So actually, it's not really that far, but you can enjoy the pretty sea, the ocean view in HKUST.
Excellent. There'll hopefully be some time at the end to ask some questions, but I'd like to move on to our 2 students who've been to Shanghai, Jiaotong. Sorry, can I have a show of hands again? Who's going to Shanghai? It's you guys, isn't it? Yeah.
There are no girls going. To get in with the foreign exchange students as fast as possible.
And are you guys going to Jiaotong, or are you doing it half and half?
No, that's just Cordelia and Jamie who are doing that.
Oh, right, okay. So, the whole time.
Yeah.
And also I was going to ask was, with the, I don't know what it is like now, but if their modules are on the anti-business or Minghang, do you know if your modules are all on like anti-business school or on Minghang?
Have you been given a module list?
I don't think you've applied yet, have you?
Yeah, you supplied either.
Yeah, no, I don't think we got that till just like before we went. But yeah, just
because that,
whatever.
that does like depend on like where you want to live and stuff a little bit. But basically, if you do have to do some modules in Minghang, which is because there's like 3 main, well, there's like 5 main campuses with Shanghai Jiaotong, and Shanghai Jiaotong is like one of the best universities in China. Like they consider it their.
It's like their Oxbridge.
Yeah. And then there's like 5 campuses. Their main campus is outside of Shanghai, 40 minutes outside of Shanghai, called a place called Minghang, which is huge, like a huge campus, but you don't want to like be living
There's
there.
no heating.
It's just
it's really cold.
It's like it's not particularly pretty. It's not really anything.
There's a lake.
Yeah, there's a lake.
Yeah.
But so and then there's the anti-business campus, which is right around the corner from where our apartment was, and that has the MBA courses on it. But they also run the kind of like human resource marketing, some economics modules.
About half our modules were there. We did all our modules there in the first semester. The second semester we picked our modules so that we only had to go to Minghang just for 1 day. So that's sort of the thing that you want to do. Like if you're going to go to Minghang, make sure you put them all in 1 day, because if you have them like spread out over 3 days, you just won't go.
Yeah, it's possible to avoid it altogether.
Yeah,
it's possible.
We did it
for the first semester. The boys didn't because they like wanted to take an easier module, but I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't.
But what we found
just
is like the modules that were on the anti-business campus, which is one in the city centre, were actually a lot more like marketing, management, kind of easier. I don't know what I'm saying, but they were. Easier.
Introduction to innovation,
Yeah.
like just talking about Google and stuff.
Yeah, just like you have to like design your own company or like design a website, and it would be quite straightforward if you're a native English speaker, like really straightforward if you're a native English speaker. So I would really suggest, even if you've never done compensation management or you've never done like, those kind of modules before, just take them because they're quite straightforward if you're a native English speaker.
The Chinese modules,
they're in the Suzhou campus, which is
about a 10-minute walk from the anti-business campus, and that's like a good.
That's where you'll get the bus to Minhang from.
Yeah.
And there's like a big shopping centre like around the corner from there, and I mean we both did Chinese classes and we met a lot of people. Like,
I would really
recommend them. We met a lot of people sort of who weren't just doing like the business exchange. There are people there who just go to the Chinese classes to get their visas. So you meet a lot of like English teachers. We made a couple of really great girlfriends from going to the classes. You meet people. Also, that's where the students from the Chinese school who they're going to be there for their second year. That's where they have their classes. So you'll be able to meet up with them.
So you'll see all the Leeds people.
Yeah, you'll see the Leeds people.
And it's a really. I mean, we only did. You get. With the Chinese course, they all do full-time Chinese out there. So they have 4 different modules, like reading, writing, listening and speaking. But because obviously you're going to be doing business modules, you won't have the time to fit all of those modules in, and you won't want to anyway.
So we just did speaking first term, and second term we did
reading.
Did we reading or writing?
Reading. It's reading and writing came together.
I can't remember.
So we just did reading, but I would recommend if you just want to do one module, like what we did, it costed around £300,
I think,
for this whole semester.
For the first semester 1, and we
that
actually got away without paying semester 2. So just
don't
go ahead.
mention that.
And they didn't realise we just told them that we had, and they're like,
I'll just edit that out. Sorry, it's always good to have blackmail material on hand.
Yes. So you can just do like one module, and I would suggest doing the reading module because you learn the characters, and I think
you speak them anyway because they want you to get the tones right.
Yeah, so you'll be reading it out loud, but you'll also be learning all the characters, which I think is the most important thing when learning Chinese, is that you do it from scratch all together at the same time. As we did speaking lessons to start with, and we were just reading pinyin, which is like the alphabet stuff, and it just meant that like we couldn't recognise any of the characters when we got to the reading class, and everyone else was like a bit in front of us. Yeah. So I would really recommend doing reading rather than speaking as your one module.
Why do we talk about Shanghai?
Oh yes.
all of the more you do in Chinese, the less you do.
No, they're on
It's
top.
on top of everything
It's
else.
an 8-credit thing, and it's entirely separate because you're only required to do 8 credits overall. So each term. So
You get 1 credit for each.
no, it depends. Like we have some modules were like 3 credits, and some modules were 1 credit. It depends sort of like how often the
You've got to do 8 credits in your course.
I think
you can do
did
Chinese.
they say that we could do 1 or 2 like extracurriculars?
Yeah, it's sort of because we were the first year of exchange. They didn't really know sort of how to judge it because Chinese, you have like 3 classes a week. You have like 6 hours, 8 hours. You have 8 hours a week. So that counts as 8 credits. It's an 8-credit module that you would do for the whole semester. So obviously that would already be your 8 credits that you require from the business school. So they kind of said to us like, if you only want to take maybe 6 credits in the business school and then have your Chinese, but that means you've got to pass Chinese, which is fine for Catherine, not so much for me. So we did sort of the business school modules to make sure we passed everything.
Yeah.
But that's something that you'd have to check with like Leeds to make sure that you go.
We're doing enough modules.
Yeah. Because also we did 9 credits in case we failed one, and then in the second semester we only did 8 because we knew we would be able to pass them. But we did have one of the lads who was out with us, he failed some modules in first semester, so then had to take like 12 credits in second semester. So just sort of...
But that's only because he did really hard modules. He picked like statistics or something, which he had never even done before. So just stay away from anything mathematics or statistics. It's a higher level. And
it's so, like, they know what they're doing.
Yeah, we just asked that people do like extra ones because resit's like a bit of a nightmare to organise, so it's just better to do the extra ones.
Do an extra one, but basically, if you're doing stuff like international and human resource management, then you will pass it.
In like the first week, I would just say go to pretty much all the lectures. Then you're going to meet all the exchange students because, like the kids from Sweden, they have to do 16 credits and they're told which modules to do. So they have to do like the statistics and the maths ones. So you might not get to meet them otherwise. So we'll just say like in the first week, go to all of them and find out which ones like are assessed by presentations, which ones are assessed by like some of the modules were 40% in class communication. So every time you answer a question, he writes your name down, regardless of what you say. You've said something, so you get like marks for that. Because
they do that at City as well.
Yeah.
They'll just you just say something, and then you go and tell them at the end, oh, my name's like Emma, and
yeah, because like when they're in school, they're taught like just like do this, and then they just write all their characters. So at university, they're really trying to build up their confidence to be able to speak and stuff like that, and they really appreciate it as well if you sort of get into a group with Chinese people for your coursework and you're not just doing coursework with other Europeans. So that gives you brownie points as well.
Really sorry to totally divert here, but Sam has to go soon. He's going to Taiwan next year, and I thought one of you maybe travelled there during your year, and I just wondered if you had any impression. You went to Taipei, I'm assuming.
Yeah, and then we went south a little bit, but
Oh, right,
only
okay.
briefly. Yeah, Taiwan's really cool. We've got a couple of friends who stayed there. How long were they there? Like 6 months studying Chinese after they were on
They
exchange.
didn't go home, they just went to Taiwan to learn Mandarin for...
Yeah, because apparently their Mandarin is the proper...
It's like the classic one.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the proper, like the
best-
Queen's
best
English
one.
type of Mandarin. So if you want to learn Mandarin, that's a really good place to do it.
The characters are harder though, they're not simplified. So
I don't know.
no, they're like more traditional. They're traditional characters. They're harder.
But yeah, it was a really nice place when I went there. We were in Taipei, and there's things to do around there. I'm just trying to base it on like what Alex engaged. So
It's
yeah,
really
there's
pretty
great
within
time
itself.
there
There's
for
loads of
ages.
different places you can go, and there's lots of different things you can do, and it's an easy hub to get back to like mainland and do other things as well.
Yeah, and the food's there is really
Yeah, the
nice
food's
as well.
really good.
Some of the best street food there was just amazing.
I think kind of like the impression I get of like Taiwan and like Taipei, it will be quite similar to like Shanghai.
Yeah, I've been to Taipei as well, and like the city itself is like really massive, and like the
There's
airport's
lots
like
of
around the
expats
mountains, and then you
and-
come round and it's like this huge city, and you're like wow. But
Like in terms of like going out and drinking, I think it probably would be quite similar to like Shanghai,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of expats and stuff.
the smallest man in the world lives there.
Sorry.
Just it's fun.
When we were in Taiwan, we went to like one of the cheapest Michelin star restaurants. It was really good.
What's
We had
nice
dim
on the
sum.
cheapest Michelin star restaurant?
Really good.
There's
And
one in
then-
Hong Kong as well, isn't there?
Yeah,
The dim
we
sum.
never went there.
Yeah, I went there.
Oh,
I
that's
loved
why I
it.
took you.
It's amazing. It's
Oh,
like the
yeah,
cheapest
we
dim
went.
sum in the world. Yeah.
Really, that's what we were.
Yeah,
Dim sum is good.
In Hong Kong.
Yeah.
The dim sum. I can't remember the name of it in Chinese. It's, you know, Mr. Wong's.
He's like a celebrity chef, and he has his like TV show. in Hong Kong.
Is that not the same guy?
Oh.
Mr. Wong's.
The dodgiest food place
As
you've
you
ever
call
been
it,
to.
establishment where you get unlimited food and drink for $20.
Yeah, it's something stupid.
Yeah.
It's cheap though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, it's pretty cool.
But yeah, Taiwan. And when I went south, they've got really nice scenery by the coast and stuff like that. So it's really nice from what I saw of it.
Thanks. Right.
If it's just you going, I would email the Chinese school and just ask them to pass on an email from you to. I think last year only
So
two
you can
people
meet
went.
them out there.
Yeah, just like we ended up running into the people from Leeds in Shanghai, but having someone who speaks Chinese like for the first few days to help you get a phone and stuff like that is really, really useful. And also, you know, if you'll be starting uni at the same time as them, so if you're in the same hostel while you look for apartments and stuff, there will be someone who sort of is like, oh yeah, go to Leeds, let's go have a beer kind of thing. So I would definitely ask them to pass on an email. And
There's actually an exchange student who was here last semester who's back over there now. So remind me, and I'll put you in touch with them as well.
Yeah, so like if they I don't know how they do it, if they stay in halls or anything in Taiwan, do it.
There's halls, yeah.
There's halls.
There's a really good volunteering system. I think people can come like meet you from the airport and stuff
okay.
as well. That students come and.
Yeah, I don't really know anything about
I would
what
like
I'm doing.
find out a little bit about halls before you commit to like paying for them and stuff, because like we said to these guys before, like in Shanghai you don't want to be in halls. There's no, like under no circumstances do you want to be in halls. So I would just like, if you can get in touch with anyone who's been who's out there and find out a little bit more about the halls before you commit like with a payment or anything.
But the year that we went to Shanghai,
They demolished the international
the
student
international
halls because
it's
they
one in
didn't
the
meet
city
criteria.
centre. The one in the city centre, which is the one where they have the Chinese lessons, and like that's where you want to be. They had student halls, building number 9, I think it was called, wasn't it? And it was like demolished the year. Well, we saw it on like the first few days, and it looked like a prison, like a prison, and we were like, oh God, we didn't stay in there, like.
But I've been in the halls, like when I was working for a project with like some of the Chinese students, and like I went to boarding school and this was like scarier than that. There's like, it's just the mattress is like this and it's just really high up as well, and then you just have your desk underneath, you have a kitchen for like the whole building, and there's like a couple of bathrooms for every 30 people on the floors. Like it's Chinese, do you know what I mean? Like it's a little bit like prison cell.
But I think, but they redid them. The one, I looked online at the pictures and they look quite nice this year.
Yeah, the ones at NTU, they look like really nice quality, but it sounds like they're quite strict, like so to you, so like no visitors after midnight and stuff like that.
The international.
Yeah, I think it's like the Asian culture.
No, not that. No,
Some are still being built. Like,
Yeah, they're finished now.
They're finished now and they're available to you, which
But then-
they are like decent.
They're not halls like we would know, I think,
They're not
because we
sociable
have
or anything like
kitchens with a little bit of a living room area and stuff like that. It's not like that. They, the Chinese students go to university to work, so it's not the same like Leeds.
Yeah, and so basically, if I were you, I wouldn't. Like, no one lives in halls. Like, you're not going to miss out on anything. Don't go.
Everyone seems to be told about it.
Yeah. So I think that the best thing is if you are based in the anti-business campus in Shuwei, then
training.
Yeah, that area. Then go to Rockenwood Hostel.
Yeah.
With very.
I think that's the one I gave you.
Yeah, same around Shanghai.
Yeah,
So
It's the best hostel ever, and you can say hi to our turtles. They live there now. Yeah, they kept eating fish as well. They're like vicious things.
You had turtles yourselves and you left them.
We left them with them. Yeah.
They weren't actually turtles. They were terrapins.
It's not a lot of
They like eat bacon. They're terrapins.
And we used to raise them.
Yeah. Sorry, really unfocused.
So how long were you in the hostel for then?
We were in the hostel for 2 weeks.
Did you go a week before?
We went a week before, and then.
Start September.
So we went a week before, but we probably could have found accommodation in the first week, but we were just going out too much.
And like to get over your jet lag, like just go out all night.
And like we're a bit confused about where we wanted to live.
Did you knew each other before? Did you meet?
No, we met for a drink like once before we went, and then Kath flew out with the two lads, and I met them in Dubai. And then we arrived in Shanghai together. And then when we went to Rockenwood, we were like at the bar, and like talking to these people, and they're like, "Oh, we're from Leeds Uni," and we were like, "We're from Leeds Uni," and that's how we met the students studying Chinese.
Who in first year?
Who were, pardon?
In their second.
They were in their second year, yeah. So definitely get in touch with them because like it's.
They helped us like in taxis, and on the first nights out they were like talking Chinese, and we were just sitting there like.
And they love to show off, so it's like don't like just exploit them. They like it.
Did you come across anyone from Leeds studying at the Shanghai Theatre Academy?
I did speak to a girl at the last meeting, and I told her a bit about Shanghai, but I don't think that was an exchange when we went.
No, it wasn't.
Oh right, okay,
It's
fair
a new
enough.
one.
Yeah.
It must be. I mean, I don't. I'm assuming it's.
But I looked at on the map. It's actually just around the corner from us, from where we lived. It was so yeah. I think you.
I was there.
You were there. Yeah. So definitely, just get in touch with everyone from Leeds because it's nice to have. It is such an alien place. It's nice to have a little bit of home with like that you can like sit around and chat about it.
And also we've got the new exchange, the French School of Management, which has a campus in Shanghai, and there'll be 2 people there for semester 1, and then there'll be one person. No, there'll be one person there for semester 1 and 2 for semester 2.
I think you met. Did you meet Jamie? I was chatting to you before. Yeah, Cordelia and Jamie. They're going to Paris first and then to Shanghai.
But I would also.
But their campus is like near the button, so their campus is like further away.
What was I going to say about the first month is pretty stressful out there in terms of visas and changing like medical, because what you have to do is you'll get an F visa, I think it is, from the business school, and that's for 6 months, isn't it? Oh, not for 6, but it's like
it's a 1 entry visa. What happens? So they give you one just for semester 1, and when you get there, they change it to a whole year, and you get your like residency permit. But to be able to get that, you have to have a medical. But they make it as easy for you as possible. They have like a medical van pop up outside the Chinese where we learn Chinese, and you go in. It's a little bit scary, personally, because they don't speak any English and they're putting like electrodes in your body. So that is a little bit scary.
It's quite thorough.
Yeah. but it's like done and dusted, and then you get your copy.
And you
like,
get like a little booklet
tick, tick,
about
tick.
everything you could possibly want to know about
So
yourself.
what
They
could-
tell you.
What could be wrong with you?
Well, they told Sam that he had kidney stones, but they let him stay.
And they
Yeah, they
said
had
I
cyst.
had
Yeah.
something as
Yeah,
well.
kidney stones.
Yeah, he had a cyst in his liver or his kidneys or
Something.
something.
Yeah.
But like, 'cause they do like this electrode thing.
What could be wrong with
Basically,
you?
I think if you're HIV positive, they'll send you home.
Yeah.
Just like in Russia, you're not allowed if you're
Yeah.
HIV positive. I think that's the only
There,
thing.
you have a blood test, you have a whole body X-ray, you have
They put these things on your toes and on your fingers. It sounds really scary, it's alright. And you can't feel it, but they're actually just checking like everything's
they have this
flowing.
ultrasound of your stomach.
I think that's just the girls. They like do an eye test as well to like prove you're not wearing, I don't know, they do an eye test, blood, what else they do, like general height, weight.
But they do an eye test on me.
It sounds really bad, but I'm pulled.
It's
No, it's like you know the medical vans that come around like to city centres so you can give blood. It's like a temporary hospital.
Yeah.
It's just like you've done it and then you're fine, and then you just once you have your address, you register with the police, and like normally your estate agent will just march you around to the police and you give them your passport. And I think you're unaware of it, but like these guys would have, the Chinese students when they come here, they have to go and register with the police as well. So it's just something so they know where all the foreigners are.
You said it's one entry visa.
Yeah, so you get your one entry, and then when they extend it to your residency permit, that's when you're allowed to go in and out. Because at first we were like going, we were like, oh my god, we're not going to come home for Christmas. Oh. But no, it's fine.
Yeah, you just change
Yeah, how long would you have after Christmas then? Because you were.
It really depends on your modules. Like Chinese, all the exams for Chinese, they happen in January. But I mean, you don't have to do them if you don't need the credits. You can just go and learn. So we had. Like one of our courses, she was like trying to put the exam on Christmas Eve, and we were all like, no, we're deeply religious. And then she tried to put the exam on like the 1st of January, and we were like, that's not going to happen either. Eventually she was just like, okay, we'll have it on the 7th of January.
Still got Chinese New Year.
Pardon? Yeah, Chinese New Year, that's a separate holiday, like it depends where it falls, but
Yeah, the guy who's at Jiaotong at the moment did ask me to tell people that, yeah, you could have exams like Christmas Eve.
yeah, I don't know, we just
change
told
it.
like,